Hi, I am Carol with Carol Joes, and today's tutorial is going to be how to create the book bag bling. So here's an example where we have the fish, and then there's a lobster clasp, and then another example is a Japanese inspired pig. So those are two of them that I have completed, and today for the tutorial we're going to make the little mouse. There are all different types of animals, and these are little porcelain animals. So each one of these is porcelain that is out on my website, and that is caroljoes.com. And if you go to the DIY corner, down in there, and I'll link it down below in the description too, that is where you can purchase the kits if you'd like to purchase them. But today I'm going to show you what comes in each one of the kits. You get a head pin, you get the focal bead of an animal of some sort, you will get a lobster clasp that you just open up and put on. And then depending on the animal, some of the animals have a larger bottom hole, and due to that, there will be a bigger accent bead and a smaller accent bead. Otherwise, if the hole is small on both of them, you will get accent beads with the small ones. So it just all depends. And so I will package that up and ship it off to you when you order those. But to make this, you take your head pin and you put on the one accent bead. If you have one that's the bigger and a larger, put the bigger one on the bottom. So it's like that. I'll show you why we have the accent beads too. So if we have our little mouse here, we put him on the head pin without the accent, he comes right on through. So we want to have that accent bead. It makes it a little bit more stylish, but it also stops this from falling off. And if you have the smaller bead, the mouse is one that needs a larger on the bottom. What will happen is your bottom bead is like, let's see, there we go. It's almost taken up and goes inside. So after a while, it just may not look right. So if we go with a little bit larger, and this is just a 4mm bead, it just stops it from going all the way down and covering up your bead. And then at the top, we put the 3mm bead. So to make this, you have, depending on which one kit you get, you'll either have a 3 or 4mm bead, the mouse, and then the 3mm bead. The tools that you're going to need for this tutorial or to make this project are round nose pliers, flat nose pliers, and a cutter. It's a flat cutter. It's like, so it's flat on the back side. I like them when they have the little point. So if you look at that one, it has little points, because then you get in there. There are other cutters that have a U shape or a round shape at the end. I'm just not a fan of those. Personal preference, you use what you like. Some people need 2 of the flat nose for this one. I personally just use my round nose as a regular plier too when I'm doing this. So what I do is take the round nose, and depending on where you are at in making these, if you're a new person doing this, go a little bit in. No, don't do it right on the edge, but you don't want to be all the way back here. The reason being is that the further back, the larger your hole is going to be. And when I mean the hole, it is the hole that holds your lobster clasp here. So you see how that hole's right there? You don't want it very big, but you don't want it extremely small. But if you do it right up the edge, it's fine, because that's where I go. But that's my personal preference, and I can do it. So you put your tool, your round nose tool, right above that 3mm bead. And if you notice, there's no play in my bead. I've just pushed them all down so it'll stay. You take your finger or thumb and push that wire away from you at a 90 degrees. So when you look at it, it'll look like this. And you see how my tool is like right in there? I'm going to reposition my tool at a 45 degree. So you see where now it moved up to there. You take your finger and your thumb and start bringing that around towards you. And you'll get to a point where you can't go any further because the tool is in the way. So reposition your tool and set that on the top. So it's like that now. And then finish up your circle. So it will look like that. Now, to get your lobster clasp in there, you can take either the flat nose, or I use my round nose. Grab a hold of the one side and pull it up, and that creates a little bit of an opening. Slide this on there, slide it around so that it's in your circle. Use your plier or flat nose or the round pliers, and shut it again. Now you will need your flat nose plier. Grab this end and wrap around. Sometimes it's 2 or 3 times until it's like a barber pole. So you're kind of looping around. You don't want to be on top of each other. You want to have them be right next to each other. So if you look at that, you'll see there's the first one and there's the second one, and it's right up against the bead. Now you have a little bit of a tail, and that's where these pliers come, not the pliers, these are the cutters, come into play. And you just go in and cut it off. Now I did it because I'm doing it into the camera. I held this. Normally you're going to want to cut it down in the table. So in case you're not holding that piece, it doesn't go flying and hit somebody, or goes flying and gets in the carpet or the floor and someone steps on it, because that hurts. So just be careful where your end is going. Doing it down is safety. But that's what it'll look like when it's all done. And then you just use the lobster clasp. I do not have a book bag or something, but you know how like on the zipper pull of the book bag on one of them, you can just put this in there and have a little bit of a bling for their backpacks. So this is called the Book Bag Bling, 3 Bs. So if you want to go out and purchase it, go out to caroljoes.com, and that's where you can go ahead and purchase those. I hope you have a great day. Bye.